side shine when we west side glide, when we west side glide, living lavish all the time. West side shine when we west side ride. West
G-Lew. Yeah, I'm living lavish, 5-star rating, cuz meaning above average. I'm a west side legend, macho man like Randy Savage. But I don't wrestle with these niggas, I just let them have it. Hit them with a thumper, knocking them all in they cabbage. Just like the homie Snoop said, Cali niggas is actors. You not no factor, homie, you just an actor. Me and Mac Malone, we like the #1 Macners. Get your girlfriend around me before I go and crack her. Take her back to the studio, turn her into a rapper. You get it? Now that probably went over your head. Now you just another hater, probably wanted me dead. But instead, cuz we gon' get this money. Me and the homie Mac on the track, fucking dummies. Taking off phase, we ain't afraid, we can run it. Take it to the back like in the county jail, homie. Since Pac died, ain't nobody talking about it. All these rappers scared of the truth, so they walk around it. Niggas bitch made, so they need to... All right. What's up, everyone? Let me see. Welcome everyone to the show. Got my homeboy, he's here. Give me 1 second. Okay. What up, everyone? Shout out to DD, our producer. Shout out to our sponsors, 3 Level Clothing. We got a special guest here tonight. My homeboy, Daniel Ayala, Marvelous. The Marvelous one is here, ladies and gentlemen. He is here. Okay, he's here. All righty, hold on 1 second. Let me get my mic and my visuals right. There we go. Let me see. There we go. Background, right? All right, there we go. All right, hope everyone can hear me. We got a special guest tonight. My homie Daniel Ayala is here, the Marvelous one. What up, homeboy?
What's up, homie? How you doing?
I'm doing good, homie. Greetings, bro. Glad to have you on the platform tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Everyone out there sends their love as well. Shout out to everyone in the chat tonight. Thank you for the love and everyone being here. Been anticipating this interview here because everyone knows this guy right here is very, articulate, very deep. Like I'm gonna learn something and I'm gonna interview him, but he's gonna teach me some things tonight, I'm sure, because the homie is very smart dude. I don't even know what you want to call it, but this dude here, man, is a very deep guy, man. So I'm glad to have him here on the platform. First, before we get started on Marvelous, just tell the people. I mean, I know you told the story; it's all out there. People know, but for the people who don't know, just give a quick background of who you are, homie.
All right. Well, my name's Daniel Ayala, also known as marvelousink Tatoos. My AKA or moniker is Youngster from Maravilla in East LA, East Los Angeles, and born and raised in East LA, and I'm a tattoo artist right now as we speak. I'm also a father of beautiful children, and just doing my thing out here, bro. Trying to survive out here with the rest of you guys.
Right. Doing it. And I know your background, man. Like, again, I know a lot of people have heard this story, heard them tell it, but it's very, man, like very deep. The homie has been through a lot, went through it with, of course, your parents, your mom, and drugs and all those type of things where you had like a crazy, coming up, like again, not to get too deep into it because the story's been told. I don't want to get too deep, but just tell the people some of the things in your background, homie, that led you first growing up in the area you did in East Los Angeles, homie, back in the day. Sure, it was a task in itself, just growing up around, gangs and just everything everywhere. But you just being a kid, homie, before all of that started, just tell us a little bit about that and how it was for a young Marvelous coming up.
Yeah, well, like you said, and many of us, whether you want to consider yourself black or brown, we're all brown at the end. Some part of melanation in us. We seem to grow up a certain way. Whether we have family members that are addicted to drugs, or homeboys or cousins, family members that are in gangs, so on and so forth. But yeah, I grew up in a domestic violence household where my mom used to she was a victim of domestic violence. So I seen a lot of that growing up as a baby. Also, a lot of the gang lifestyle growing up, because she was affiliated with the neighborhood as well. She was
Okay.
from Zone 14 West Side. And
Okay.
then my father was from Eloyo Maravilla. He was older as well when he had me. So just growing up around all that, I seen a lot at a very young age, stuff that your average kid probably shouldn't see or witness. From my mom getting hit and beat, from them using drugs, from
Right.
people waking us up all hours of the night. Because the house that I stayed at with my mom, her boyfriend at the time used to sell a lot of dope. So we lived in Pomona, which a lot of people know. The city of Pomona is
Shout out to
real
Pomona.
active. It's
Yeah.
it's active. With gangs and dope. But yeah, I seen a lot of that at a young age. So I thought every kid was going through what I was seeing. I thought they had seen it too, but that wasn't the circumstance. So it's just a lot of stuff that I seen that made me become a little bit more compassionate, I could say, for a lot of people in the future. Like becoming a man now, I'm more compassionate toward people's circumstances and the
Right.
things that they might have gone through. But also it kind of built a hard shell around myself, and not to be so gullible out here, or be so accepting or trustworthy of people. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah, that
So
the neighborhood to do that to you. Daniel, at what age? Like, I know you were surrounded by it all your life, but at what age were you like more aware, really aware of your surroundings and where you were, like the neighborhood, the Maravilla, or whatever? You know what I mean? When did it hit you? Like you were aware that okay, this is what it is, and how long after that were you involved or thought you had to be forced to be involved with it?
So I think I would say around it's gonna sound kind of ridiculous, but I think around 6 or 7 years old, I was already writing it on paper. I didn't really comprehend what it was, but I seen my dad, and I kind of looked up to it, and I found myself writing on paper, thinking it was cool and stuff, not knowing the whole aspect of damn what it was that I was gonna be involved in the future. But I think after my mom passed away when I was 8 years old, um 2 years later, in 92, I ended up getting into my neighborhood where I officially got jumped in. But yeah, I was a little boy. That I look at my children, or my kids that I got, and my boys, and I'm like, damn, they were babies. They're
Right.
kids, and I was already doing so much at that age that it's
Right.
just it's unfathomable, bro. They you know kids these days are playing these games, and like Roblox, and they're on
Right. Right.
TikTok. And back then we were already holding, I had a gun in my backpack, and
Right. Right. You were
you
really
know we're
outside living it.
yeah, we're outside doing the damn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm older men jumping out on us, and
Yeah.
and banging on us, and it's like, damn, it's a grown ass man.
Forced to
But
grow up real fast.
yeah, for real.
We didn't have, like you say, even now the kids got a lot, it's harder, it's hard for them as well. But like you said, it's not the same. They're inside, they have more that, back then it was just different, man. Well, I was gonna ask you, when like you said, you now aware of your neighborhood and your surroundings. Did you know like the impact of your neighborhood, like their reputation and what all it involved? This is before the green lights, so this is even before that. But just your neighborhood already being a well-known, respected, notorious, all these things, and of course enemies and things come with that. Were you aware of the background of your gang at that age as well?
Yeah, but at being younger, like I mean, like 7 years old. I can remember back to being like about 7 years old, and my grandpa would call me in the room, and he'd say, "Hey, mijo, come in the room real quick, and I want to talk to you about some stuff." And he would sit me down on the bed, and it was all about respect. It was just all about respect. I would have to look in his eyes, and he'd make sure, and he'd be look in my eyes when I talk to you. Look in my eyes
Right,
so I know that you're paying attention to me. And he'd have me repeat, what did I just say to you, or what are we talking about right here, or and certain words that he would use. I learned later on that it's etiquette. It's called etiquette and morals. And how you conduct yourself. You look a man in his eyes when you talk to him. You shake a man's hand. You show him that respect, that camaraderie.
right,
And I was just little. He would tell me, you don't understand, or you might not comprehend what I'm telling you right now, but later on in life you're gonna understand what I'm telling you, you know, and you're gonna apply that to your life. And I always kept that close to my heart, you know. And later on, I ended up understanding, you know, what he was talking about, because you know, you want respect out here, you gotta show respect as well. You know what I mean?
Right, right, exactly. And that's another thing I'm gonna get into, the maturity of you such at a young age. Obviously you were taught that, you know what I mean? But let me back up a bit, because you mentioned, you know, that you lost your mom, man, like at 8 years old. Like how does one, you know, take that in and at 8 years old? I mean, I know you're young and you probably don't take it in, but you do. You know, at 8 years old, a kid still needs his mom. You know what I mean? So how were you able to take that at such a young age, bro?
It was kind of you know, I don't know if I like if I fully, you know, accepted her dying. It was still like, you know, sometimes, and to this day, bro, I have dreams where I feel like she's alive out there somewhere. Like I'm gonna bump into her at Target, or I'm gonna bump into her somewhere, and she's still gonna be alive, and this is all just a dream. You know what I mean? But at that age, at that time, it was a shocking experience. I was in shock. I know that I shut down. You know, that day that day that she, well, that night that she passed away at night. But the night that she passed away, the next morning, my grandfather had dropped me off at school, and right before he opened the door for me to go out to get in line for my class, he said, "Hey, your mom died last night," you know. And I got off the car. You know, I got off the car, and it was like everything was slow motion to me. That whole day was like, it was hazy to me, and I didn't talk to nobody. The teachers, I got in trouble. They sent me to the office, I remember, and they were trying to talk to me. And my grandfather ended up telling them, you know, my mom had passed away. And I just remember just shutting down after that. I remember everything like on point. I remember the Vanilla Ice that came out. I
Wow.
remember a lot. MC Hammer was just popping. I
Right, right.
remember all these things, you know, were just coming out. I remember a certain cologne. I remember what was it? Cool Water.
Cool
You
water,
know, I
yeah, yeah.
remember
Cool
like
water was hot.
yeah,
Obsession. Yeah,
all
cool
this stuff.
water though was shit.
Yeah, all this stuff during that time. You remember certain things. You know what I mean? Like we
Right,
can't remember a lot of things in the past, but we could go back and remember where we were on 9/11. You know what I mean?
right,
Or
right, right.
certain things that are really trauma bonding to us. You know, we'll remember the impact that it had. But yeah, it was a messed up thing, because I only got to talk to her on the phone. You know, I got taken away from her by social services, and the only way I could speak to her was she would call my grandma's phone when I would be on visitation rights for her at her mom's house, and she would call me at a certain time every night, and she would sing oldies to me. And I
Wow.
remember the night before she died, she sang "Dry Your Eyes," the oldie "Dry Your Eyes."
Right,
and
right.
and later on, in like when I was, you know, about 19 years old, I really listened to I listen to oldies all the time. I'm a big oldie lover, oldie fan. But listening to that song around 19 years old, it impacted me like tremendously, because in the part of that song it says, "Mother's gotta go now, you know, dry your eyes." And it's
Yeah.
like, damn, you know, was that her goodbye? Like low key, her saying goodbye. You know, she didn't know it, but you know, God knew it. And you know, it had an impact on me. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's deep, man. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you next. Were you able to have keep memories of your mom? So that obviously you did, and you talked to her the night before. So, you know, after this too, man, does it make you like, um, of course you have to accept it, but does this automatically make you like like a hard headed kid, not like mad at the world and going, making you a harder exterior person than you were before that? Did you notice that at that time, or did that come later, or what, or did it at all?
Um, I think because I've always been like, you know, I'm not that tall, bro. I'm like about 5'5", but
Right.
my grandfather, you know, at a young age, at 5 years old, they had put me into martial arts. So I got sponsored actually. I went to the Junior Olympics, and I ended up being a good competitor. I'll say that, you know. And my grandpa always talked to me about, you know, me being a shorter man, or a shorter boy, that I was gonna get picked on, you know. And that did happen in school, where, you know, kids would try to bully me, and I acted out, you know, and try to use what I learned at martial arts class on them or whatever. And I didn't let nobody bully me. But I think, yeah, after my mom died, and the bitterness of my dad being in prison and not being around, and me just feeling, you know, at that young age, I did feel alone. I felt like I felt like that side of my family, where my dad's side, that I wasn't accepted. You know,
Right.
my grandfather had always had me with him, like close to him all the time, and he wouldn't leave me alone like for 1 second at the house with his wife, my grandmother. And he would say, no, I don't want to leave you here. You know, they're not going to take care of you right. You know, come with me. And I would wake up in the car at the job site. He was a general contractor, so I would wake up at different job sites of him building houses, and I always seemed to be with him. I learned a lot throughout that time, you know, growing up. But yeah, and I think it kind of did make me like, you know, feel that I wasn't wanted by certain people in my family, and
Right.
you know, and him explaining to me, I don't know if it was a good or bad thing. I mean, to each person is its own, but he would tell me family isn't isn't always blood. Family are those that are there with you, you know, 24/7. A family member, a real family member, whether it be a friend or a person that has your bloodline, you know, will call you and make sure you're good. We'll call you and make sure that you ate. We'll call you and make sure you got blankets. We'll
Right.
call you and welcome you, invite you places. You know, that's a family member. So, you know, I took that to heart to this day. You know, I taught my kids, you know, or at least I try to instill that wisdom in them that, you know, family member ain't, you know, even your homies ain't your
Right.
homies. You know, not everybody, not all your homies you're gonna be able to call your friend or an
Right.
actual
Right.
friend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
Did any of this steer you at this time? Like, I don't know around this time or what time you joined the neighborhood, but did any of this steer you that way? And did you find some of that love, or you thought at that time from some of the homeboys that maybe you were missing, you know, from your pops and your mom being gone and whatever, you know what I mean? Brothers or whatever that you seeked out. Did you find that in the neighborhood?
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I had homies that, you know, I think they a lot of homies or a lot of older homeboys that were my dad's homeboys, you know, they knew who my dad was, and not to go too much into his story, but they showed me a lot of respect, you know, because of my dad and my grandfather. And you know, they would buy me food, they would give me food stamps, they would take me to the store, invite me to go play handball. Man, if I needed my bike fixed or whatever, they'd be like, hey, you know, I got you. You know, you need anything, like, you know, let me know. We got you, you know, and
Right, right,
I love that. Like, you know, I wasn't getting that for any of my family members except for my grandfather. So, you know, those gang members, I ended up calling, you know, those were my primos, those are my cousins, and we'd introduce each other as such. You know, later on in life, you know, we go different places, and then I'll be like, this is my cousin, or they'd introduce me as their brother, and you know, they would spend the night on my pad and call my grandpa or Gramps, and they would eat dinner at my pad.
right,
You know,
right.
yeah, that was a trip, you know.
Right. Were you able to being that you come from such a large neighborhood, right?
Right.
But it's different cliques and all that. Were you able to learn at a young age when you were younger, like different parts of your neighborhood and learn the history more than the whole everyone before the bullshit came around?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. My grandfather, he first generation. He was born in 1918.
Hmm.
So he can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, he was born in 1918. He was already from the neighborhood. And my dad later on born in 1940. He's second generation, and I'm third generation. So yeah, I learned a lot about, you know, my neighbor. Not essentially the whole gang part. You know how people know it as being a gang, but an actual barrio,
Right, right.
where it was the name of a town. You know, our Maravilla is actually the name of the town before the borders were actually official between the United States and Mexico.
Okay.
So yeah, he would show me old letters he would write to his mom in Mexico, and telling him that we live in Maravilla, and she pictured this you know, later on he brought her over here to Maravilla, and she kind of got mad at him, and she she picked up dirt off the ground, and she goes, this is the same dirt that, what's so Maravilla about this, like what's so beautiful, what's marvelous about this, it's the same dirt that I have at my house at my
Right,
house.
right.
Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah.
How did your dad, your pops, and your grandpops, but mainly your pops being from the neighborhood, how did he feel about you when he heard that you joined the neighborhood?
Oh man, he honestly, I think he had called me. He had a camper. He used to live on the side of my window in the
Mhm.
parking lot of my house, on my grandpa's house. And I remember him calling me in. I think I was about 9 years old, and I hadn't got officially jumped in, but I was already claiming the neighborhood. And he called me into the trailer one day, and he goes, "Mijo, I want to talk to you." And he kind of shook his head at me, and he's saying, I heard that you're from the neighborhood, and I just want to tell you to just be careful, and you know um to be. He used a word called strategic. I didn't know back then what strategic was or whatever, or didn't understand what he was talking about, but he would tell me, make sure that what you do, or if you go do something, make sure that you really I mean, maybe it was bad advice to give your son, but or something that a father shouldn't tell his son, but he said,
Right.
to make sure you think about what you're doing before you do it. So later on, I really took that to heart, and really thought about, a lot of people do things in the heat of the moment,
In
or
the heat of the
during the
moment,
yeah,
exactly.
and they
And
get
that's
busted.
mainly when we're young though, too, right? Because that's when you do all the crazy shit. You don't think about it. And a lot of homies that done shit that in 2 minutes cost them 20 years, because it's the heat of the moment.
Yeah, they got all this testosterone at a young age, and we're just, everybody's trying to be an alpha male. We all want to prove
Yeah.
ourselves. You know what I
Prove
mean?
ourselves. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the main shit. I was gonna ask you too. You said you were officially joined the neighborhood like 92. So around this same time, the green light era thing is in effect. I don't know when it hit, how exactly when it hit you guys or whatever, even how that went down. But how did that affect you initially? Like, did you even take it seriously initially? Because you're just so young, really joining the neighborhood, and then this happens. How does that affect you if it does at that time?
It affected us in a big way. We always had a lot of I don't want to say we had a lot of enemies, but we had a lot of enemies. We had a lot of
Right,
homies that didn't understand our whole get down with Maravilla or whatever. And prior to it being an official green light, or them labeling it a green light, by certain factions, and I don't want to say who, but we've always kind of been a love-hate relationship with these people. And it was always up in the air, the animosity, or these feelings of older homeboys that were selling dope, or really in the political realm, trying to enforce these rules on us, and we were just knuckleheads, and we ain't listening to nobody. You know
right,
what I mean? So when this green light hit, it was an all out war. Like, finally, I don't have to tell you that I'm against the grain. Like, we're just
right,
gonna
right,
show you about that shit. And it was, being I didn't at being that young, bro, because I was a child. I was a little boy, bro. I didn't know. I didn't fully comprehend the impact, or what could possibly happen to me. You know what I mean? In that effect. But yeah, every day, bro. If I thought gangbanging was crazy when we didn't officially have the green light, now it was on, and every day it seemed like a different neighborhood was coming to hit us. So we would literally write down, if we could get the license plate of the car down, to find out what kind of car it was, and tell the homies, hey, these such and such neighborhood is driving this kind of car, or watch out for this blue car, or watch out for this white blazer. You know what I mean? Put the word out, and just be on our toes.
right. Were there? Let me ask you this: were there any neighborhoods that, like, maybe, because I know you guys had a lot of enemies anyway, so it didn't really matter, but you had allies as well. Did any neighborhood surprise you like that you were cool with or down with, and all of a sudden when this happened, even though that's really what's going on, but did they surprise you, like neighborhood you were close with or cool with, and now they turned on you?
Um, I can't really say no. Like, each of our cliques, like, say you got Mariana, or you got Arizona, or you got Lopez. We always had, like, kind of, other rivals that we'd have football games with. Like, I
Right,
know Lopez would have football games with Garrity. There's some of my homeboys that were tied with the Vatos from Little Valley, and we would chop it up every once in a while. But now it's like we can't talk to these dudes. Like, we can't trust them, because you don't want to take that chance, the what if. You know what I mean? Because if you take that what if chance, that's the last breath you're gonna take, homie. You're gonna
right,
get set up, and there ain't no you you're just not gonna be here no more. So
Right.
you really got to watch out where you're going, what mall you're going to, where you're gonna pump your gas at. You know, whether you're with your family members, because then you got to watch out with different homies that, you know, there's some dudes out here that just don't give a shit if you're with your daughter or you're with your grandfather. And you know, I was with my grandpa a lot. He would give me rides places, and I didn't want nothing happening to him. You know,
Mm.
and most of the time he didn't even know I had a strap on me. You know, he would tell me, he'd use the word like these old words like, "Hey, mijo, are you packing?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean packing? Like, what are you talking about packing?"
Right.
And he goes, "You know what I mean. You're not stupid." And I'd be like, "Man, Grandpa, I don't need that. I'll use my hands." And he goes, "Yeah, well, you might use your hands, but they ain't gonna use their hands." And
Right.
you know,
So he knew
so
what was up.
yeah, he knew what was up, you know,
Yeah.
and I think my dad would be telling him, you know, I know he told them. My grandpa couldn't comprehend the whole green light situation because, you know, he's from an older time. You know, he's more with the get down, you know, and fist fighting
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
My dad's era, you know, that's more fist fighting as well with knives and shit like that. And then you get into the, you know, 80s, and that's when, you know, submachine guns are getting introduced to the homeboys, and you know, the whole drive-by thing came to be. But yeah, I remember us having a meeting one day. I don't know if you remember this, but you know, we had a meeting where you know, where there was not going to be no drive-bys, or there couldn't be no drive-bys no
Yeah, I
more.
heard about that. Yeah.
And then also we couldn't bang on dudes that were over 45 years old. That was considered a veterano.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't know about that.
you would get green lighted if you banged on an older dude. So yeah, we just had a, you know, it's not like we're gonna go up to the dude and ask him how old you are. It's just we have to use our better judgment. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Um, were you guys aware, like once the green light hit, were you aware of some of the other neighborhoods that had the green light as well, or did you just have to find out, like, or did you even care because you had to
Oh
worry about your own shit? Or were you aware of any other neighborhoods that were green lit?
yeah, the homies. I've always been good homeboys with the homeboys from Lowell.
Okay.
Lowell,
Shout
yeah,
out to the
Lowell.
homies from Lowell.
Yeah, they were Lowell.
Bandit.
Go for it, bro. What you say?
No, I was just giving a shout out to the homies. They're probably tuned
Yeah,
in too.
I got nothing but love and respect for those dudes, man. Them being not a big gang at all. You know,
Right,
those dudes get mad respect for me for holding it down like the way they did, man. And you know, staying themselves. They didn't click up with no other neighborhood. You know, they did their thing and they banged. You know, they gang bang. And
right.
you know, not like today, I think it's real watered down. You know, the whole game is watered down. You know, people don't know, they've lost their identity, and you know, they don't know how to conduct themselves as men anymore. You know, for the most part, you know, there's
Yeah.
homeboys that still do, like youngsters, but you know, that's if they get, you know, schooled by an older
Very
homeboy.
rare.
But for the most part, these, you know, a lot of people don't know how to conduct themselves, and you know, you're gonna get this knucklehead that's out there, you know, trying to make a name for himself, and you know, but yeah, I remember them. I remember the homies from Opal as well. They got the green light. There was a couple of other neighborhoods that had got the green light as well. Violent Boys had got it back then. I remember 18th Street had it for a little bit.
Mm.
Asian Boys had got the green light. Or any Asian gang for that matter. I remember they had got lit up as well. And what else was I gonna say? Um, I don't want to throw neighborhoods out there like that,
Right,
but
right,
yeah,
right. It's all
I,
good.
I
Did
remember.
did you did you see from your point of view, did you see it more like really in Fort, like on the street, like really people on the streets really all the way in with it, or was it more so more in the pen and in the county where it was dudes with the extras, but on the streets where they really doing all that?
Oh yeah, well, as far as us, as speaking of you know, my neighborhood,
Hmm.
there was homeboys, you know, still trying to be political with it. They were still
Right,
trying to, you know, make their bones, and you know, it's your career out here. You know what I mean? They were selling
right.
dope. And they wanted to keep that. They wanted to keep that reputation, and they wanted to enforce these rules, you know, to the younger homeboys, which was us, and a lot of us weren't having it. You know, like my whole situation with my neighborhood. You know, we ended up having a big old split. You know, because of this whole shit, and you know, there was a handful of us that just stayed Maravilla, and the other ones, you know, stayed with the clique, and we weren't down for that. You know what I mean? It's
Was it a
like,
split because some wanted to wanted to get on the political side, or
Oh
that
yeah,
was the disagreement, or what was the
yeah,
disagreement
that was
for the split? Okay,
yeah, that was a disagreement. You know, they wanted
okay,
to be all political with it and be Mr. Super High Power, and we weren't having that, bro. You know, our homeboys that had passed away, you know, they didn't die in vain, and you
right,
know, we were still going to hold it down, whether it was in the county, in state, in the feds, wherever. We still wanted to you know keep their name, you know, up. You know, we got love. We loved our homeboys. You know,
right,
it wasn't just a thing we got into the neighborhood for girls, or we got into the neighborhood because we're deep, or you know, we look all banged out. We were like a family, man. They were like our brothers, and you know, like if you're my homeboy and I invite you over for dinner, you know, my grandfather's gonna treat you like he's your son. You know, he's gonna ask you if you wait. He's gonna, if you
right,
don't have no clothes on your back, you know, he'll probably take you to go buy some shoes or something, you know, to help you out, you know, give you some wisdom, and you know, ask you about your life, or ask you about if you have any goals, or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Yeah. So
That's
we were
what's
more
up.
like, yeah, brotherhood.
Go ahead. Yeah. Who was that asked a question? Denise said, "Was he ever busted? And how much time did you do?"
Oh yeah. So a lot of my cases, bro, I've actually, you know, with I believe in God. I don't know if
Right.
you do, or anybody in the
Yes,
comment
I
section.
do. Yes, yes, of
But
course.
yeah, he's really kept me, you know, safe. You know, that a couple of life sentences that I've been able to, you know, dodge and shit. Um, so yeah, for the most part, yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, like all that county time, yeah, in a juvenile time, yeah. But as far as being been able to stay away from getting that long stretch, I've been blessed, bro.
Right.
Beyond blessed, I could say. You know, that God's really been walking with me and kept me safe.
Man, that's beautiful, homie. And I'm just glad to see your progression, bro, and everything you do, man. You're an inspiration to a lot of people, bro, and the positivity, and all that. So, it's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
thing. Shout out to my boy Mac Malone, West up. I was gonna ask you too, at what point, man, did you really start to learn knowledge of self? And, when I say knowledge of self, I don't mean knowledge, the knowledge that you have of yourself, and what made you start wanting to get more involved in learning like you do now, because I know that's had to start from somewhere.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, you know, my grandfather always trying to instill some wisdom, you know, some compassion for other people. So I got that at a young age. But as far as me, you know, getting really into um, knowledge of, you know, our communities, or our history of you know, or culture, or how, or this poverty, the sense of poverty that we seem to all be stuck in, you know, generation after generation. You know, we got no generational wealth or anything. It started about around my 20 years old, bro. I could say 20 years old or 21. And there was a handful of us, homeboys were kicking it, and there was this older gentleman there. He was I don't think he was from the neighborhood, but he was an older man, and he was talking about some way out stuff I had heard about, but it was like I never really like I would always shut people down when they talked about it, like conspiracy theories, or you know, he talked about a lot of stuff that day, and I remember me just looking at this dude like, this dude must be smoking some good crack or something, you know, because he sounds dumb, and
Right,
everything he is saying is fraudulent, and you know, he was kind of getting annoying to me, you know. So we ended up having a conversation, and I thought I was gonna demolish this dude, you know. And he ends up telling me, he goes, "Well, why don't you prove me wrong? You know, why don't you prove me wrong on what everything that I'm saying?" And I'm like, you know what? Like I am, motherfucker. I'm gonna prove you wrong, and I'm gonna do more than that. And
right,
I took my smart ass home that day, and I ended up being the dumb one, bro. I was dumb. I I was wrong about a lot of the things that I thought were true. When it came to um why we're in this poverty, or you know, whether it went into everything, bro. It went into a lot of stuff. We're learning about laws that were put in place. You know, the three strikes law, and
right,
that branched out into a lot of shit. It branched it into even to health, actually. A lot of food that we eat. I started, you know, studying biology real hard. I always loved culture and been into history, But I always asked, why do we always learn European history? How come we
Right.
never learn, history of our culture?
Right.
They just tease us with a little bit. Why did these Spaniards try and destroy everything from our culture?
Well, let me ask
Why
Mark. Let me not to cut you. I just want to briefly ask you what made you want, like, it's one thing to learn about a few things, but to get real deep, like you were saying, the things you're talking about. Did this over time? Was it a time you were locked up? You had time to think? Were you on the streets? Did someone give you the knowledge because you really wanted to dig deep and you dug deeper than just the average, you know what I mean, shit, law books and all that. You really dug into your culture, science, and all this
Yeah,
shit. You know what I mean?
for
Where
sure,
where does
bro.
where does this kick in at?
That kicks in my early 20s when
Okay.
like I said, that night, homie, was uh that night I opened a door to just truth, like the Matrix, bro. When he asked me, oh, you want to take this red pill, you want this blue pill?
Right.
And man, I took the whole bottle of pills, and I was just on it, bro. I was a sponge, and there wasn't no stopping it, and it kind of got me depressed. It got me messed up inside. It's like, what kind of future do we have? Like, everything's a lie.
Mhm.
Everything, from when you walk into that elementary school, to our alphabet, to the food groups that we're learning that are good for us, is everything's a lie. That's actually bad for us. Like, I thought milk was supposed to make our bones stronger, and you're telling
Yeah,
me that
yeah.
that's the most toxic thing,
Yeah, I heard that
detrimental
too.
to our blood.
That fucked me up when I heard that about milk. And it made sense because now I can't drink milk, bro.
Yeah, for real. Learning
That's crazy.
all the metal that's put in our food since we're a baby, since infant meal, and then what does that metal do? Like, why are they putting metal? What does that do to our circulatory system? So yeah, it was a trip, homie. Like, it just woke me up, and I was like, I'm like, people need to fucking know this. I want to go take my ass to Walmart and start getting on the microphone and telling everybody, hey, wake up, so snap up.
Right,
Where
right,
there's a bigger war out here than just us shooting each other over a color or a number.
right.
There's a bigger war. We're right here killing each other, but in the meantime, somebody's playing Monopoly with us, or they're playing chess with us, and they're checkmating us every day. Every day we're getting checkmate, homie.
Wow, that's real. Let me take time out to give a couple shout out. Shout out to the homie Tony Bandit from Lowell. He just checked in and sent his love to you, homie.
What's up,
Uh
Bandit?
yeah, and the homies from LA Times as well. A lot of everyone's checking in. I'm just trying to get a couple questions in. The homie from LA Times had a question. Big Paul, he asked going back to the green light thing. He said, how did 18th Street get through the county jail with the green light? Because they had such a huge clique with a big car. Gracias.
Man, you know what? I have no idea. For the most part, ain't nobody gonna want to PC up or call man down. So you got to get off. Like the homie Bandit was saying on one of his interviews. You got to get off. You got to get off. You're gonna go. They're gonna put you in a dorm. They're gonna put you in a module with a bunch of Southsiders, or the mainline with all the homies. So the first thing you're gonna have to do is get off. You know what I mean? Get down with somebody until the cops pull you out and throw you in the hole, because any form of submitting to your adversary, is a sign of weakness, and you can't do that. You want to call and say you want a medical slip. That's a sign of weakness, homie, and you can't do that. You know, and especially being such a big neighborhood. If you want to say 18th Street, any big neighborhood, bro, that you're gonna get got, homie. Whether you're in there or you're in the street, and
Right.
you signed up for this, and you better be a man about it. You can't call man down or say time out whenever you feel like it. This ain't a weekend thing. This is an everyday thing, and you wanted to be an alpha male, then hey, this is the jungle, homie. Let's see if you're about it. So yeah, we had to get off and go to the hole. A lot of the homies, like, when we first got the green light, they got stabbed. You know, um, we homies, I guess, didn't understand, or comprehend the whole thing of this. Even some of the homies, I was talking to a homeboy the other day, about when when the homies hit the state, and they were still dissing, they were still dissing Southerners, and it was like, that wasn't gonna ride. You're dealing with the whole prison system. You're dealing with thousands of inmates that you're gonna be on the yard with, and you're gonna get stabbed. So you unless you want to sign your own death certificate, you better be careful what you say and learn how to conduct yourself. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Facts. Let me see. Is there any more questions? Let me see. Let me see. I think that was it. Okay, Denise Castillo said her question is: did any of your kids follow in your footsteps and join the neighborhood, bringing in the fourth generation?
No, I wasn't about to let that happen. No, I've tried to raise my kids, like I said. At the end of the day, they're gonna make their decisions and do, you know, what they think is best for them. So I try to just instill the best wisdom I can, and lead by example. I can't tell them not to be from a gang when I'm out here, flossing my neighborhood or acting a fool with them. So I just try to lead by example. I try to work as much as I can and talk to them whenever I can and show them love, like um just by being there with them on a mental level, not necessarily being their friend or their homie, but when they need some advice, even advice that they don't think that they need, um or asking them what they think about things, let them give me their input and make them feel part of something, because they might have some good advice for me. They might teach
Right,
me, and
right,
we're all learning from each other. So I don't want to always be the one to be like, do this, I'm right, I'm always going to be right, because I might not be right. They might have some good advice for me. I could, they might save my life one day.
right, right. Hey, briefly, quickly off subject. Right, the comments went crazy when we brought up the milk situation. You talked about the milk, why it's not good. Now everyone, couple ladies asking why is it not good, because my kids drink it. We all drink it as kids, but it seems different when we get older. But can you break down briefly for the people, because that created a big debate in the comments. They're talking about milk. What's good? What isn't? Why isn't it good?
Okay, so milk, a cow, we'll say a cow, right? A cow essentially has four stomachs. And how milk is made through the cow is a cow will chew up the grass or the feed that he's eating, which has a lot of it has different chemicals in it to make the cow bigger, to produce more milk and more meat, to get them bulky or bigger, to make more meat for the masses. So with all these stuff, it's affecting their hormones and stuff. So a cow will eat the grass or the feed that it's eating, and then regurgitate that. It'll throw it up. Then
Right,
it'll eat it again, the vomit, so it could pass through the second, third stomach. And they can look this up on Google if they want to and see the whole process of it. Um, but yeah, you're eating all these hormones and stuff that the cow is what you call it is eating, and that's going into your system.
right,
So if you look at videos or pictures from the 1970s on people at the beach, there's not one obese person. There's not one person that's obese, bro. They're all skinny. They all seem to be kind of fit. And you look at today's people, look at how many obese people or overweight people they are, and it starts at a young age. They teach us to buy this milk or 2% milk at the supermarkets, and you're buying all these milk that the cow has been injected with all these, you know what do you call them, oh my god, they give them injections, bro, to make them
right.
bigger. But you're consuming all that. You're consuming all that, and all the stress that the cows are going through. When they get slaughtered, if you ever seen the cows get slaughtered and stuff, you're eating all that. You're eating the stress meat, and as well as drinking the milk, bro. That becomes pus in your system. Now, that being
Hmm.
not an organic matter that's you're ingesting into your system, your immune system bumps up and you create more white blood cells. Now, if your white blood cells can't break down that matter that's supposed to be organic in a certain amount of time, your body thinks that it's part of itself, and it sends so many white blood cells that it creates a film or a thin layer of skin around that foreign object, and it creates a tumor, and that tumor becomes cancerous. And in the meantime, if it does become cancerous, your red blood cells are passing through that, taking bits and particles to other various parts of your body, and that's how cancer spread.
What let me ask you this, homie. Why is it that we understand when we get older, of course, now, like I said, I can't drink milk. It doesn't agree with me. But why is it when we're kids we can drink it so much, and they push us to drink it so much, to help us grow bones or whatever with cereal, you know what I mean? And we
Yeah.
consume a lot of it as kids. Um, is there any difference with that, like opposed to when we get older?
It's all what it literally is, bro. It's a literal it's a form of hypnosis and repetitiveness, bro. If you do something, long enough, it becomes a habit. To You no longer know that it's a habit. So the same thing with addiction. A lot of people out here smoking bud, but if they smoke bud for a long period amount of time, they don't know that they developed an addiction. Same with the way with a meth addict or a person that's smoking crack or rock or any kind of, anything
Right,
that you consume for a long period of time, it becomes a habit, and that habit becomes addictive. It becomes part of us where we become in denial about it, and we don't know that we're addicted, or we become privy to this, to just conducting ourselves a certain way.
right,
We need to break that habit that has been instilled in us since a little kid. When you go into a classroom when you're a little kid, what's the first thing that you see? You see the alphabet, you see a globe Earth, and you see these food groups, and get told that milk is good for your body. All this stuff is good for your body, which is bad. You get told that you're from a certain nation, which you're actually not. You get taught to submit and raise your hand. They inform. It's just like being busted, bro.
mm,
It's the same thing.
mm,
You got to follow orders. You got to follow in line. They give you these options of what you can be too. You could be a lawyer when you grow up. You could be a teacher, but they never tell you to be what you want to be, to be
right,
something different other than that. That's gonna pay taxes and you know, fall in line with the rest of the cattle. Why can't you
right.
do that? They never teach you to buy land, or that you can own land, but they'll tell you how to rent.
Facts,
A
facts.
lot of homies think that they own something out here when they pay off their car note and stuff, but stop paying your insurance. A lot of people think that they're homeowners. They don't own their home. Stop paying your mortgage. Do you own the land that the house is on? Nope.
Mm,
We need
mm.
we need to wake up, bro.
How does first let me ask you this, a two-part question. Like um how do you know the information? Like you have a lot of information that you stored over the years, and I'm sure that you're always learning, and you know what I mean. How did you when you were starting to learn knowledge of everything yourself and everything, how did you know which information was factual and not, like to for you to even now, like say when you speak a lot of stuff and stuff, I'm sure a lot of people challenge you, well, how does he know this, how does he have the facts, or he doesn't have the facts or whatever. How did you know early on when you were learning everything and gathering your knowledge what was good and what wasn't, and how did you know what I mean, was official or
Yeah,
not?
and that's a great question that you asked me, bro. I love that question right there, because a lot of stuff, or a lot of people, if they know how to articulate themselves, they'll make themselves believable to anybody. They'll sell a fish water, you know. But and that's the thing. Everything that I speak on, or when I do, if somebody wants to know about something, I have to make sure that it's fact. I have to, because they could go on the internet right now and type up milk and the benefits to it, or the not the stuff that's not beneficial to our body, and find out if I'm lying or not. So the first thing I tell people is not to believe me at all, or anybody that they're learning from. Go find out the information for yourself. It's a book away. Go look up a book. Go look up, federal documents to see if it's true or not. Stuff like that. Don't just go by hearsay. A lot of people use that term of being woke, right? Everybody's woke, and oh, I'm woke, and I know about the Illuminati, or I know about biology and stuff like that, and they don't know a damn thing, bro. They just seen a video on TikTok, or they heard somebody talking about it, and they believe that person. But have they done the groundwork? Did they read a book? Do they know the terms and definitions? What these words mean that we're using in our everyday life? Do they know why milk is not good for your body? Do they know how to heal their body? You know, so yeah,
Do
I
you
make sure
think?
that
Do you think
I
this
look
needs
up,
to? Do you
huh?
think not to cut you off? I'm saying, do you think this needs to start being taught early? Because again, as kids are raised to love milk. You know what I mean, with their cereal and everything. You know, it's like, and then it's like a shocker, almost like Santa Claus when you find out it's not good for you. You know, if you're
Yeah,
a kid. So
yeah.
does that need to be taught earlier? And do moms need to stop giving their kids milk now?
Yeah, definitely. The
Oh
first,
shit!
the first schooling that needs to be taught is at home, bro.
Right,
Your kids have to learn from you at home, not in the school system, not in no for a system, that is put on by the federal government for us to learn. Your kids have to learn from their fathers how to be an alpha male, a hunter gatherer, and how to learn from our mothers how to be a queen and how to conduct themselves if they're a female, you know. But they need that father and mother first of all. What's happened to us, through the 80s and 90s? They've removed the father from the household, where you got women raising young men or boys to be alpha males, and they can't. A woman can't teach a boy how to be an alpha male. I'm
right,
sorry if people disagree with that, but they can't. Just as much as I can't teach my daughters how to be a real woman. That has to be taught by a woman, you know? So we need to, first of all, try to do our best to form this household setting with a father and a mother. I mean, if the father's not around, or somebody has passed away, then substitute it, with an uncle, or a person that is instilled with some kind of wisdom, bro. You know what I mean? If
right,
if you're not getting through to your kids, and your kids don't want to listen to you because you're their father, you know, get one of your cousins, bro, or get somebody that that has some wisdom instilled with them to go and speak to your kids and be like, hey, you know what? I would like if I could have 5 minutes of your time, to instill some wisdom into my son, and teach him how it is out here in these streets. Teach him, the how my son wants to learn about boxing. Can you show him a little bit or what you think? Because us as kids, a lot of us don't want to listen to our parents.
right,
I
right.
don't know how you
Nah,
were raised,
facts.
bro,
Same,
but
same, same, same,
yeah,
bro.
you know what I mean.
Same.
We
Yeah,
don't we don't respect them enough to listen to them, but we'll
yeah.
go listen to our homies.
Right.
We'll listen to our homies giving us a strap or learning how to cook dope. So yeah, I think that's the first thing that we need to do, bro, and also remember leading by example. We weren't dumb when we were kids. We knew everything. We know how dope smells. We know what a quarter piece, what a 16th adds up to. We know a
Right.
lot of
Right.
dumb things that are supposed to be for grown folks, if
Right.
that. But we need to do our best to get these households put together, bros, to have some form of structure. Because if there's no structure, there's gonna be chaos, bro, and that house is gonna fall every single time, generation after generation, bro. There's gonna be the same addiction, with the same incarceration, with the same death, and the same old sad story, and the same homies rapping about it time after time again.
Mm, facts. Let me ask a couple questions. LA Times, Paul said, Marv, are why are so many Mexicans have to put the white on medical farms? Do you know about that? I don't know.
Oh, you mean like our
Can
ethnicity?
you see that?
Yeah, so I'm reading it right now. Yeah, are you talking about our ethnicity? Like, why you have to put like Hispanic or Latino and stuff? And that's all, again, that's all the system, bro. A lot of us, we all come from tribes. Today we call them gangs, but today's gangs are essentially tribes, bro. Whether you grow up in Watts, in Inglewood, in East LA, in Alhambra, wherever you
Right.
grow up, you become part of that faction. Now,
Right.
what we got to do as a people, and I'll say it like this, we're not trying to sound racist or anything like that, but as a melanated people, brown people, we feel the effects of this the most. We feel the police brutality. We're raised on food stamps. We grow up without our dads. A lot of stuff happens to us, bro. And we need to educate ourselves on why is it happening. What is it? Is it a generational curse? Is it something that I could avoid? What could I do to avoid it? How could I make myself better? I don't got a dad around for me to teach me. What are some basic steps on things that I could do to make myself more productive, not only to society, but to my family members, or the people that are around me. What could I do to better myself? Instead of talking about it, should I set some goals out for the day? Should I set it out for a week? And what do I need to do to accomplish that?
Right, right. That part. Um, how do you how do you try to get like your point across to homies? Like I'm sure like you get some people that want to accept, you know what I mean, the knowledge or information and want to build, and then some that take it as, oh dude, you know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
he's always talking. You know what I mean? Or what is he talking about? Or won't he won't? How do you deal with those homeboys, or how do you deal with people, period, when you're trying to teach or just give them information and they don't accept it, or they play with it, like you know what I mean?
Right. The thing that I do, bro, honestly, is I do the same thing that old gentleman, when I first opened my eyes to a lot of things, as I do the same thing that he did to me. I tell him, prove me wrong. But I don't come at people or homies or my kids in a condescending way of talking down to them or at them.
Or
I
forcing it on
ask
them.
them, what do you think about this? What do you think about this situation that's going on? You think that it's something that's set up to make us fail? You know, and then just stuff like that. Because I can't always be the person that thinks that they know everything, because I don't know. I'm far from that. I'm still learning every day, and there's not a day that goes by. You could be 100 years old where you stop learning. You
Right,
know.
right,
So yeah, just try to learn something from anybody, bro. And apply that to your life, and not give not give any bad energy. Don't give it your energy, because then you manifest that into reality. So if you got a bunch of people that are always talking shit or that don't believe you, and they want to argue with you, if you give that life, you give that your energy, you're gonna be arguing for the rest of your life. So
right,
why even feed into that? That knowledge isn't for everybody. Not everybody's gonna believe you. You could be the richest man in the world, and you're still gonna have people hating. Oh, well, how did he get it? Did he get it doing drugs or by selling drugs? There's always gonna be 5% of people always hating. But the only people that know how you did it are you, essentially, and the people that gave you that energy to manifest that into reality, bro. So you just need to surround yourself around good energy, people that are bringing positive vibes to your life, homie, because that's just gonna
right,
push you to do better for yourself.
right. Facts. At what point did you figure that part out, man? Because sometimes it takes a lot to know what good energy is and what not is. Like just want to still keep it real with some of the homies, or come around or hang with certain homies, but they may not be the right energy for you. But you have to accept that and understand that it's not that I'm not showing love or whatever, but this is not the energy I need. How do you figure that part out?
Man, sometimes it takes, like beating a dead horse. There's some people that you want to save, and you're like, man, get this now. You want to choke them out, homie. You're like, man, I'm trying to show you. I'm showing you the documents right here that you could read. I'm showing you a book that you could go look up, homie. I'm giving you all the answers right here, and you're still not accepting what I'm saying. You're gonna beat yourself to death, homie, and you just gotta be able to step back, take a breath, and be like, all right, you know what? Go ahead and do your thing. I gave you the answers there, and you could either accept it or not. You can't sit there and fight everybody, especially the people that you love, homie. Even if it is gonna be your kids or your wife or your husband or whatever, you gotta be willing to step back and accept it, bro. That it's not for everybody, homie.
Right. Um, what's your take on it's 2022 now? You come from back when your upbringings and coming up in the culture and everything was different. You know how it is today, but it's still going on at a high rate, or whatever the case may be. What's your take on what's going on, not only your neighborhood, but in general in LA, or period, with the gang situation, or how things are going on in the communities right now as you see it?
So honestly, not to be like bash it or get anybody depressed, but I think people need to wake up, man, because it is not gonna get any better at all. It's not. It's only gonna get worse. Things are gonna be we're gonna be under more laws and regulations and restrictions, and people need to start. First of all, what I suggest people do is start educating themselves what's in these this whole virus. Study
Right,
biology
right.
a little bit. Because a lot of people are putting stuff into their body and they're believing a dude in a white coat that's telling them it's going to be helpful for them, and they don't know the ingredients of the stuff that they're injecting into their body, and the effects that they're going to have either instantly or the long term effects. And if they want to live longer, they better try to do their best to keep everything organic, bro. Everything organic, from the food that
Damn, I
they
really
eat.
want to. Right.
Yeah,
I know. I'm saying I want to go in on that and really ask you more about that, but this YouTube, they real. You already knew. So, but
yeah.
man, I would love to talk to you about that. But uh, yeah. Talk a bit too about even not only the science part, but stuff like how did you learn what to eat? Like how was your eating process, and how do you go about all that, and your routine workout? Like what do you do for your body to stay physically fit as well as
So,
mentally?
so I try to do my best, to let go of this. And it's all stuff that I've how do I say it? It's all a process, bro. We've been doing something for so long, for since we were little kids, whether it's eating beans and rice or whatever,
Right,
to burritos, to carne
right,
asada, to chicken and stuff like that. And we're not gonna be able to break those habits, overnight. But I tell people the best way to do it is try to get a partner. Try to get a partner where you guys can motivate each other. If you're in a relationship, get your spouse. Try to eat more greens. When you go to a supermarket, when you go to a supermarket these days, go look at how big the organic section is in the supermarket, bro. It's a little table, a
right,
little tiny table. There's nothing really real. Look
right.
at the ingredients and everything in the aisles that's in the middle of the supermarket. Most of it is all made by corporations. They're all chemicals that you're putting in your body. They're all metals that you're putting in your body, along with a lot of plastic. The average person consumes a credit card a week. That's how much plastic we're consuming, bro. So imagine just eating a credit card every week.
Mm,
That's messed up, and a lot of our people don't take the time to read these labels or study the corporations that are making this so-called food. They don't know the pesticides and stuff that they're spraying our vegetables and fruits with. you know a lot of people will go to the market, and I just posted about this too yesterday. They'll go buy an apple and they'll bite into that apple not knowing that it's layered with a thin layer of wax. And if your body can't break down that wax, like I told you earlier, what happens? Your body starts to produce more white blood cells that attack this foreign object, trying to break it down. And if it doesn't break it down soon enough, your body thinks that it's part of itself, and it grows a layer of skin, becoming a tumor. So we got to try to eat as much organic stuff as we can, bro. If you can grow your own fruit, vegetables and fruit, do it. You know, if you could go
maybe
tap.
you should post. Can you post like on your page some organic stuff that people like if they just want to start off, let me go get some organic food to start off with, some stuff they could start with, because some people may not know where to start at. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And the way I tell people, first thing what you want to do is your body is like a car, right? What people do, like say a lowrider, for instance. They'll go get a lowrider and they'll fix out the whole outside and it looks all nice, but is the engine running good?
Right,
Nope.
right, right, right,
So
right.
our body's the same way, homie. We gotta clean out our blood first. So a good way to clean out your blood is, I tell people, you go buy parsley and cilantro, parsley and cilantro, and that cleans out the high toxic metals that are running through your blood system. Clean that
Okay.
out first. Then you can start on your diet, and then your workout regimen, however your workout's gonna be. People want to go work out at night and go to the gym at nighttime, and I understand. They got a job, but that's not the good time to work out. You're working out and you're getting your metabolism going. You're energizing your body, and then you're gonna go lay down and go to sleep. That's not the thing to do. You got to wake up early in the morning and get your stretch on. Then you got to get your workout on. And as you're working out, you got to stretch out those muscles to make them bigger. If you don't, you're just gonna be a little ball of muscle. Never, you know, you're never gonna grow, bro. You're never gonna expand. You're just gonna contract.
Hey, let me ask you this: the people in the comments are talking about water and drinking water, and a lot of people talk bringing up alkaline water. But I heard
Right.
you mention this in the previous interview about alkaline. You were like, "That's cool, whatever," but that's not the best water to drink. What was your stance on that? There's people,
Okay, so the water, a lot of us, you know, I do it myself. I go try to buy a high pH in the water, or the best water that I could buy with a high pH above a 7, right? But the alkaline that we really need to ingest, bro, is from a natural spring. If you could go on your phone and type in a natural spring near you, go drink water from there, bro. That is
but
the
you know
best.
that's not. But you know that's gonna be
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
far fetched.
but that's
But that's the best way. You
in
saying though,
all
yeah,
reality, that's the purest water that anybody can drink, homie.
right. That's what's
If
up.
they wanna go get a water watch, let me show you real quick. Let me get one. Let me show you real quick, bro.
Okay. Hey Javier, I seen your question. I'm gonna ask him next too. My bad, bro.
So when you go buy your water, anybody that goes and buys water, it says pH right here,
Right.
you know, and the pH usually is below a 7, you know, and look who's making the water, who makes these water, what corporation is making the water, right? Like Dasani, for instance, is made by the Coca-Cola company.
Hmm.
They that is not good water at all. Those contain
Right.
chemical that is fluoride and atrazine. Those are
I heard
two
that years ago that Dasani wasn't good, but they made it. At first, we thought that was the greatest thing on earth when they first
for
came
real.
out. But I
Yeah.
found that out too. That's not good water.
Yep.
But how does one know? Like, how is it a point where we're at where water is not safe? And I thought that's supposed to be the best thing, but now people make their own waters, chemicals, or whatever the case may be. For us to know what water is not good for us.
So
That's
you could buy a
crazy.
yeah, you could buy a tester that tests for alkaline. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
unless you're a biologist on the real, bro, you're not gonna know what's in that water. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So, it's all about what you consume. If you could eat fruit, a watermelon, contains a lot of water.
Right.
It helps you digest your food and actually use the restroom better. So it's
Okay.
all you could do it with a fast. You could try to it's all obedience, bro. It's all obedience and repetitiveness. If you every time you eat food, eat vegetables afterwards. Whether it's honeydew, watermelon, or any type of melon that contains a lot of concentrated water, that's good for you. It's gonna help you push all that stuff out, as well as bacteria that's in your body.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, the homie, Credible Javier had a question. He said, this is offset back to what a little bit we were talking about earlier. He said, I seen parts of East LA that are almost unrecognizable now. Uh, he said, could you ask him if he thinks gentrification will change the Chicano culture?
Oh, definitely. Yep. Yeah, gentrification, and that happens. Yeah, every 10 to 20 years, they gentrify us a little bit more, and we keep losing our identity. Um, yeah. So, like I said before, education starts at home. It starts with you knowing what tribe you come from, bro, and holding on to that. And you know, you guys, families can do it these days, where like our elders used to do, back in ancient times, where they sit amongst the fire. You know, you could have a bonfire at home and get your immediate family, or people close to you, and give some sort of wisdom, amongst the fire. Whether it's teaching something about your grandparents that they taught you, or something that you learned throughout the day or the week, and you come together on a weekend or a Friday, that evening or whatever, and give each other some form of knowledge what you learned that week, and grow as a family, as a unit, and start to make that unit grow, till the people that are around you are just all positive energy. If
Right.
you need help one day, everybody's gonna participate and help you accomplish that goal. You know, at my grandpa's house. Growing up, we had a Baisa family that moved in next door to us, right? And there was about 15 people that moved into this house. It was like a 4-bedroom house. and all this big old family moved in. It was the dad, the mom. He had a bunch of daughters, like I think 5 daughters, and he had like 3 sons, and there was like some grandchildren, and they started off with one car, and I remember me and my grandpa were outside, and I was listening to my grandpa talk to the older man. He was an older man, and the older man was telling my grandpa um, how they added, because they ended up adding to the house. They made it a
Right.
2-story, and then all of a sudden they had one car. Then now they have 3 cars in the driveway. Then they had like 5 cars in the driveway, and they were talking about how they accomplished that. And they said if one person in that family needs something, that month that whole family works for that one person. If they need a car, then everybody's gonna pitch in and buy that one family a car. And the next month they're gonna do the same thing for the next one till they all have something contributing to that unit. And that's good, bro. A lot of us are selfish. Um, we wanna be the best or have everything, and we don't want to see the next man succeed. But we don't. Maybe if we help one another, that might help us in the long run. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So
Um,
yeah, I think yeah, go for it, bro.
no, I was gonna add another question. Someone asked earlier. Do you have plans on writing any books, or writing a
Oh yeah,
book, or
yeah, definitely.
any information on that, or just be on the
Um,
lookout?
yeah, I wanna.
He cut that short. He's like, yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, well, it has to do with neighborhood wise. So I don't want to get too much
Okay,
information.
okay, got you.
Yeah, there will be a book coming out in the near future about my neighborhood and a little bit of history on East LA, and I'm not and there'll be some good stuff in there that people will ooh and ah over. So I don't want to get too much of that out, but yeah, definitely, yeah.
Got you. Now let's take a left turn a bit because we haven't even talked about this though. But you see, the homie is tatted up. He's in his area right now doing his thing. He does tattoos. This is actually Marvelous Ink Tattoos. So we haven't even talked about your tattoo business and everything. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so people always ask me how I started tattooing. My uncle was a well-known. I don't want to say he was a tattoo artist, but he was a homeboy in the neighborhood that did tattoos. That you had to be vouched for back then. You had to be spoken for and earn these tattoos. And he was a person, a homeboy. My uncle, I love him very much, but a lot of people would go to him. He was the one that would put it on, because not anybody. You couldn't go to a shop and go get a form of cultura or culture on you. You had to be spoken for and be vouched for and asked, did you earn that? And also while getting it, know what it means or what it represents. a
Right.
lot of a lot of homeboys go into tattoo shops these days, or they have other people tatting on them, and they get a lot of culture work done that it's not earned. It's something that they shouldn't have gotten, and they go in and they get incarcerated and they get stabbed and they don't know why, or something happens to them and they don't know why or whatever. And you know, I understand, that they look up to certain things, but they need to educate themselves on what this stuff means. You know what I mean? Not everybody can be a warrior out here. Not to say that all these tattoos are being are warrior stuff, but if you're gonna go get a lot of stuff with, I mean, representing the Chicano, or want to say Machica heritage, then you really have to learn what it means. You know what I mean? But yeah, I started. My uncle taught me. He would sit me down, and he tatted a lot of homeboys from different neighborhoods, and he would teach me about a lot about our culture and what these tattoos represented. And I looked up to that, and I wanted to do that or be like him when I grew older, and say one day I'm gonna do that. Or one day I'm gonna be the one that puts that on people. You know what I mean? And yeah, I did it, bro. Look, I started off just doing pure culture work. That's all I would do. I didn't know how to do roses. I didn't know how to do a lot of things. I would do like pure writing, neighborhood stuff, you know.
Right. Right.
And then later on, I started developing a little bit more and a little bit more, and learning shading techniques and stuff like that until
We got a couple people in here, not to cut you off, just showing some love. A couple people in here got tats from you. They like Michelle Medina said, I love my tattoo by Marvelous. And
oh, thank you.
Denise Castillo said she got 2 tattoos from Marvelous.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate
Yeah,
all you guys.
yeah. And there's a
Yeah, but
shop is in East LA. They said, where's the shop at? In East LA, right?
yeah, I'm in East Los Angeles.
Okay.
They can look me up if anybody wants to look up my work. They can look up my Instagram under Marvelous Ink Tattoos. Oh, Marvelous Ink underscore tattoos. My bad. Or Facebook on Daniel Ayala. Just reach out to me. You know what I mean? There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff I don't do, bro. People ask me that. Do I tattoo everything? No, I don't. I don't tattoo portraits. I could do them, but I feel if somebody can do something better than me, I'd rather you go to them to get that pure satisfaction. Um, but yeah, for the most part, I tattoo a lot of things. I don't mess with no devil stuff or demonic things either. I don't do that. As well as putting homeboys neighborhoods on them. I feel that that's something that your homeboy should do for you.
Right,
They
right,
have to vouch for you. I didn't grow up with you. Um, we didn't put in work together, so I can't say that you earned that. So no disrespect to anybody that wants to get their neighborhood, but I just don't do that.
right. Okay. That was my next question. Um, yeah, so another thing, speaking on briefly, since we're speaking on spirituality, you mentioned earlier you believe in God. Do you have a certain spiritual background, a certain what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Uh far as spirituality, like do you have a certain like Christian or whatever, or you just what is your stance on that?
So my stance on that is I was raised Catholic. Like I
Hmm.
went to Catholic school. I was actually an altar boy too for like a couple of years. My grandpa had me hard in that, and later on in life, I ended up transverting to Christianity, where I got really into Christianity and stuff, and God and Jesus, and trying to learn about the Bible and stuff, and while I was learning or educating myself on that conversation that I had with that older gentleman, I found a lot of stuff that pertain to our culture, um, as in being a lot, and there's a lot of controversy in this what I'm gonna say, and if anybody has any questions, because a lot of people go against the grain with me, if they want to be educated on it or need some information, I will go ahead and give it to you. But how we are learning how we are essentially the true Israelites of the Bible. Um, so it's actually not a preference of a religion, because it's not a religion, but it's actually a bloodline, that we are the true Israelites, the real Hebrews of the Bible, that are Mashikas, part of those 12 tribes.
Okay. Okay. So I hope that answered that question. Shout out to the homie Bandit again. Go get his book. It's out there. Um, let me see. Do we have any more questions? Okay, just making sure we didn't have any more questions. So how long have you had your shop now? How long have you like been officially a official tattoo artist with the shop and doing your thing out there?
Um, I did my first tattoo at 16 years old,
Hmm.
but learning like a lot everything that went into tattooing, became legit. I'd say around 2003, where I started tattooing professionally and stuff. Yeah, so I'd say '03. I've come. It's been a cool minute. I think I'm
Right.
still growing. There's still a lot to learn in this. I don't think everybody's just like a straight professional tattooist. You got to learn about skin texture. A lot of people like to get high when they're getting tatted. I don't recommend that at all. A lot of people, the aftercare of a tattoo also is very detrimental on how your tattoo is gonna heal, or how dark it's gonna stay. So I think people need to educate themselves on that, and also remember that when you're getting a tattoo, that you're choosing the artist because he's the artist. A lot of people want to get tatted and they want to be the artist and tell the tattoo artist how to do his job. But let the artist get down. If that's the person that you choose, remember that you're instilling your trust into this individual, that he's gonna do a good job. You know what I mean? So
Right.
let him do his thing if that's what you want. And also to a lot of people, um take it into consideration what you're getting. A lot of people think that getting a dude's name or a girl's name is their way of showing them that they love them, but that's not always the best decision to make. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Let me ask you this. This is another thing about since we're talking about tattoos. How do you say like younger dudes when they come in there or get at you about certain tats. I know you said earlier you don't do certain tats in neighborhood shit, but even certain, like say it's a young dude and he wants to come in there and get a face tat or something like that. Do you talk to dudes about what they want? Like, do you know if they're certain about what they're doing, or they're just doing it, or do you speak to them about the seriousness? Because you have face tattoos, but people have different things they want to do, and like you said, sometimes younger dudes don't really know what they're doing at the time. So how do you go about doing that for certain people when you tat them, like mainly younger homies?
Yeah, definitely what you said right now, bro. Um, I try to ask the individual, where they see themselves. You know what I mean? If they have a job, at the end of the day, they're gonna get what they're gonna get. But I try to instill some wisdom in them, like, a face tattoo is not always the best way to, show people that you're down or whatever.
Right,
You know what I mean? If people want to throw a bunch of face tattoos because they want to look like the mean mug, or that makes them a little bit harder, and that doesn't make anybody hard at all. I seen dudes being busted with them that were blasted all over their face, be the biggest weenies in jail. And
right, right,
you got a person that don't got no tattoos, and that homeboy's a down ass homie. So yeah, I ask them. I make sure that people that want to get names, I'll be straight out, even if they are with their partners on my pad. I'll ask them straight out. Are you sure you want to get that? you know. And a lot of homies that want this culture work, there's a lot of stuff I won't do on homies straight out. I'll let them know what it stands for and stuff, and tell them that they can't get it, and the consequences of them getting it if they do want to go put that on their body. This is what you got to look forward to. So and a lot of people, they respect what I have to say. Some people, they'll go get it done regardless. You know what I mean? And later on, you'll hear something happen to them, and I'll be like, "Hey, homie, I told you. I gave you that fair warning. You know what I mean?" But yeah, everybody's trying to. It seems today, everybody's just trying to be something that they're not, bro.
right, right. Because
Everybody
it's
wants
so
to.
easy to do. Because I
Yeah,
think it's so easy to do now. Back then, like you said, you couldn't do that because you had to be outside, bro. It's
mhm,
just so easy to portray or be anything now. I think that's what it is, without any repercussions. You know what I mean?
for sure, for sure. You're right.
Yeah. What was I gonna ask you? Damn it. Oh, somebody had a question. They said, "Are there any other famous tattoo artists, or anybody that you looked up to coming up, or that you respect?"
Um, well, my favorite, I have a couple of artists that I don't look up to them, but man, I show them mad love and respect. They get down. One of them, well, I think it's his specialty is writing. But Tattoo Orcs, you can
Okay.
look up his work. It's ORKS Tattoo Orcs. He does beautiful work. He gets down. My favorite tattoo artist that does culture work would be Goeth. It's GOETH Tattoos by Goeth. You can find him on Instagram. He's bad. He gets down on his culture work. And then for portraits, I have a friend. His name is oh man, my eye. His name is oh man, you know what? Let me see. I have his what you call it right here actually. His portraits are off the chain, bro. Um Ramirez. Um Here, hold up. Brian Ramirez. If anybody wants to get portraits from this dude, he gets off on his portrait.
Hmm.
His portraits are
Okay.
so beautiful, bro. And like I said, if anybody, it's on the work that they do, it's just like he gets down on the
Oh yeah,
detail
that's
from the
dope right there.
glasses to the
Yeah.
face to everything. Brian Ramirez. Yeah,
Brian Ramirez. Go follow him if you want the port. Yeah, that's dope right there.
yeah, he gets off on his stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of great artists, homie, that get off on their skills. I wish I was like that, but
Did you have, like, even for you? I know you're picky because you're a tattoo artist, and just like people who cut hair or whatever. Is there certain people, like, when you get tatted up, that you only deal with, like, this the only homie that can tat me, or how do you deal with that when you get tatted? Who tats you?
well, I've only had you know what? Actually, no. Orcs had tatted me. Orcs did a tattoo on me. I think that's probably um I think I have 3 tattoos from shops actually. But all my original work are all from homeboys from the neighborhood. They're all
Okay.
stuff that I had to actually earn to get that on me. But
Right.
Yeah, there's stuff that I mean, now you look at it like, man, it. I don't ever want to disrespect a homie that put ink, or did the tattoo, like, but I see stuff that I have that people have gotten from a shop, and I'll be like, damn, that's beautiful, man. I wish I had something that looked like that on me. You know what I mean? But my shit's all single needle. Looks like somebody picked me with a needle. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, there's some people that get off.
Hey, who would you credit to, man? To like, I credit the Brown homies all day. You guys always had the best tats forever. But did you see like the tattoo game kind of changed? I'm sure you've seen it over certain years, even if it being with the rappers making it famous or whatever, where the tats changed from just dudes getting little shit or whatever here and there, praying hands or whatever, to really nice art and beautiful shit and sleeves and everything. And now you see everyone with that, you know what I mean, from every culture. Who do you credit for that? And did you see that change in tattoos coming where it became popularized for people to really get tatted up and sleeved and everywhere, like even most of these rappers are today? And they all
Yeah,
most come to LA to get tatted. Did you
yeah,
see that change? And what do you think about that?
yeah. You know what? I think you said it. You answered your question right now, bro. The same what you said right now. Rappers.
Yeah,
When we were younger, we used to go watch what MTV, all the
yeah,
movies, all the videos, the music videos and shit. And you see rappers that are doing these music videos that are all blasted and shit. And you got a lot of younger kids that look up to that, and they want to be that rapper. They want to tell a story too. So they go to the shop and get that tat that artist has, without even knowing what it means. You know what I mean?
right,
Um, yeah, but I seen a lot of stuff change. From girls. Remember, girls didn't have sleeves back in the days.
right,
It
right,
was rare to see a female with a tattoo, and if a female was tatted, she was a badass female. Like, it was a girl that got down. Um, a lot of homies as well. It seemed like the bigger the letters that were on his body, the downer the homeboy was. So we wanted letters that were all blasted. Um, I got my stomach done at a young age, and I wanted some big old letters. But I was a little boy, bro, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Once that needle hit, I thought I was gonna die. Yeah,
right.
but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that changed. A lot of people, a lot of
Did
a
you
lot
did
of
did you
you know.
feel how did you feel like about the rap, like everyone, because it was more so as a fad that everyone just wanted to get like sleeve, like the homegirl said right here in the comments, sleeved up shouldn't be a trend, it should be earned. But it is a trend and people just do, like you said, whatever. A lot of these tats they don't even know, they just go get, just make sure they tell the dude to just fill me up, you know what I mean,
Hey,
with whatever.
I get so many people, homie. Like, if you were to chill here and you see the people that come through, to get tatted, there's people that come over here and they don't have no idea on what they want to get tatted, homie. They
Right,
they just tell me, I'm like, what do you want to get, bro? And I'd be like, I just want you to work on me. Put whatever you want. And I'd be like, what? Like, nah, that's not what's gonna
right,
happen.
right. They
That's
just
that's
wanted,
ridiculous to me. That's ridiculous to me. And I
yeah,
get homeboys. I have some younger homeboys even from my hood that they get. I can see it in their face. They get kind of hurt. They don't say nothing, but there's some homies that have gotten kind of hurt that I won't put the neighborhood on them. And it's just like, I didn't grow up with you, homie. Like,
right, right.
I'm not gonna put that on you. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think people really need to get that out of their head. I think in the next 10 years, mark my words, what we're saying right now, um, a lot of people are gonna be getting their all their shit lasered off. You know, look at everybody tattoos on your hand. You can count as many people as you know. How many people got a clock? How many people got an owl tatted on them?
Yeah,
How many
yeah,
people got
exactly.
an
A bunch of
eye?
bunch of
Everybody walking
bullshit.
around with the same tattoos.
Yeah. That's why, like you said earlier, a tattoo needs to have meaning if you want to put it on there. So it could always be on there. If it doesn't have meaning, like you said, you'll be trying to get it lasered off. And you're seeing that a lot, and you're gonna probably see it a lot more, especially with a lot of these youngsters. And mainly, because people just like someone said in the comments, follow the leader. They just want to do whatever they think is popular and get tatted up and don't know what they're, the meaning, just like the women and all these getting all this surgery done, and then they want to get it taken off later, because
Yeah,
it's I don't even want to get it. That's a whole nother story. But
yeah, for real.
you feel me, homie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else was I was gonna ask you? We talked about the religion aspect and everything. Um where do you see yourself? Oh, I want to ask you this. Would you ever look into or think about maybe like reality, like you know how they have these reality shows now with the tattooing is kind of popular. I see a new one in Compton, but they don't have anything for like the for the brown homies or anything. Would that be something maybe you want to get into to just invent or bring something new to the game?
Yeah, that would be cool. I see a lot of stuff though when it comes to that, like the Black Ink Crew and stuff like that. I watch
Yeah,
episodes of that,
yeah,
but it seems like those are more scripted. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like if they want to see that drama and like a
Right,
straight
right.
a soap opera and shit like that. And I wouldn't want to go to on that level where it's like this person sleeping with this person, all that. If it's something like that's gonna kind of be educational in a way, that's gonna talk about the tattoos that we're doing or whatever, and
Well, that's
stuff.
what I'm saying. That would be great if you had the control. Say, for instance, you had the control to control the narrative, and for the most part, would that be something you would be interested in?
Oh, most definitely, yeah, yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay. Um. Well, yeah, I think we covered everything, homie. I ain't gonna hold you all night. I think we talked about mostly. And is there anything else we didn't speak on? You want to speak on, homie?
Um, nah, I cover anything, all the questions that anybody asks. I just want to say thank you for having me on your platform, homie. I appreciate that.
Oh man, likewise, bro. I knew it was gonna be a great conversation, man. I knew I was gonna learn some shit. You know what I mean? And I just appreciate you, homie, being the homie that you are, that is willing to come on these platforms, homie, and just be willing to be open, homie, and like you said, give the information. If the people want to accept it, they can. If they don't, they don't. But I appreciate you being like an open book, homie, and just being a stand up homie, bro.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Tell them again where they can follow you, where they can get at you. Let them know all the handles, where they can get at you, bro.
Yeah, so anybody searching me out, you can find me on Instagram at marvelousink_tattoos, or on Facebook at Daniel Ayala, or I mean, you could ask any, a lot of people in East LA where Marvelous Ink is at, and they'll point you in my direction, homie. Um, I just ask that people um, just come at me with respect. You know what I mean? Like if anybody has anything to say or any questions, um, make sure you come and ask me in person. You know what I mean? Let's keep it '90s active and and keep that shit in person and not on the internet for people that are just wanna lean that way in a negative direction. You know what I mean? I see a lot of platforms that go to waste with a lot of people, try
Yeah,
to
I
be
hate that shit,
negative and
bro.
trolling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I always tell, a real man will always look another man in his face while talking to him, speaking to him like a gentleman, or just getting his words out there. You know what I mean? Because
right,
that's what
right.
we used to do back in the days. You know what I mean? We didn't have all this internet shit to run to. We would knock on the person's door and say, "Hey, can I talk to you? Let's go take a walk." But
Right.
yeah,
How,
hey,
how do you let me ask you this one more thing. Let me ask you this since we're kind of bringing that up in the internet shit. And I'm not gonna go into the other shit with you and the other homie, but how do you balance homie being a solid dude and a narrow-headed dude and a positive dude opposed to not letting motherfuckers take you back or still not letting somebody get you twisted, not knowing who you are? Like you could easily take it there. You still the homie what you want, but still trying to be positive. You feel me?
yeah.
How do you balance that out when some people kind of take you there?
Man, you know what? Honestly, being honest with you, bro, it's hard. It's really hard. And, I think us being from our generation, we're tested every day, homie. We're tested when we're at line at Target. We're tested, if we're gonna go pump gas. Remember that there's always somebody trying to earn his name, and take into consideration that you were that young kid at one point, full of testosterone
Right.
and ready to prove yourself, not only to your homies but to yourself, that you're a man at the end of the day. So yeah, I just try to navigate myself through these shallow waters, homie, because these a lot of people got shallow minds. You know what I mean? And I always say, my thoughts are too deep for shallow minds. So I try to really think everything out before I make my actions. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the thing I could say. You know, just be careful who you invite or open your doors open to, because some doors you're not gonna be able to shut.
Right, right. I think
Yeah,
that's
but
great. That's what's up. So there it is, people. Again, great. It wasn't an interview, it was a conversation, man, and we broke bread tonight. So thank you, man. Again to the homie Daniel Ayala. You know what I mean? Marvelous Ink Tattoos. Get at him anytime. He's active with these tattoos, man. So get at him. Serious inquiries only. Um, Possibly a book coming soon. Possibly some other things in the works. Just stay tuned and check him out. And he's on a lot of other platforms as well. He has a lot of interviews out there. Go check him out. And he challenges you to get at him if you think what he says is not correct. He challenges you to get at him, and you guys can debate or look up the information and see what's what. So, you know, he ain't ducking no fades, man, when it comes to this information, man. That's my homeboy Daniel right there. Thank you again, bro, for joining me tonight, man. It was an honor,
thank you.
bro.
Appreciate you.
Okay, much love,
All
my
right,
boy.
thank you, everybody.
Peace.
Tapped in. All right.
Peace and love. That was another great episode, man. Shout out to my boy Daniel again. Shout out to my producer DD Hairston. Shout out to our sponsor Street Level Clothing. And I see you in the comments talking about Oldies Rule Forever, Por Vida. Check us out Sunday night, Oldies Rule Forever Sundays with me, Nay Love. You know what I mean? We'll be here. Check out DD Hairston tomorrow. Conversations in the Hookah Lounge Saturday night. Right here at 7 p.m. Right. And there it is. Thank you for all the love tonight. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you to Shani. Thank you for that Cash App love, sweetheart. Thank you to Yvonne Berkeley for the love, and just thank you for everyone your support tonight. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys again. Peace and love. Have a great evening. We're out of here.